Before we do anything with pain, I want to be clear about one thing. We are not trying to get rid of it. We are not trying to control it. We are not trying to think positively about it. What we're going to do instead is something much simpler. We're going to notice what's actually there and what's been added on top of it. Most people are surprised to discover that the physical sensation itself is often only a small part of what we call pain. The larger part tends to be fear, anticipation, dread, and the effort to stay in control. Tonight, we are not asking the pain to leave. We are just seeing whether it can be listened to instead of managed. Take a moment and close your eyes. And take 3 deep breaths. In, hold, and release. And again, in, hold, and release. And now a third time. In, hold, and release, and relax. Take a moment now to notice where pain is present, or where it usually shows up. You don't need to move towards it. You don't need to move away from it. Just notice that it's known. Now gently ask yourself, and there is no right answer, what part of this is pure sensation? And what part is everything else? You might notice a sensation, pressure, heat, tightness, ache. And then you might notice thoughts about it, fear of it, concern about how long it will last, effort to keep it under control. For a moment, let's allow those to separate. Bring your attention only to the raw physical feeling, without the story, without the future. Notice whether the sensation is actually steady, or whether it pulses, shifts, rises, falls, even slightly. You don't need it to change. Just notice whether it already does. Now notice what else is present. Perhaps there's a part that's watching carefully. A part that doesn't trust the pain. A part that feels it must stay alert or in control. Instead of pushing those parts away, let's acknowledge them. You might silently say, I see you. I know you're trying to help. You might notice that pain doesn't feel like an object anymore, but more like a focused state, a consciousness organized around protection. This kind of consciousness doesn't need fixing. It needs listening. If this pain consciousness could speak, not in words but in feeling, what might it be asking for? You don't need an answer. Even the act of listening is often enough. Now gently offer what was missing when this pattern first learned to form. Not instructions, not correction, just presence. You might imagine offering warmth or a steady hand or quiet companionship. Notice whether anything softens, not because it should, but because it no longer has to hold itself together. Allow awareness to widen now. Let the sensation exist within awareness rather than as awareness. You may notice that even if sensation remains, it no longer needs to be at the center. Nothing needs to end for rest to begin. Take a moment to notice what's different, even subtly. Not whether pain is gone, but whether your relationship to it has shifted. You can return to this listening anytime, especially at night, not to make sleep happen, but to let the system know it no longer has to stay on watch. Before we end, I want to take a moment to talk to you about what you may have noticed. And just as importantly, what you don't need to make of it. Some people notice that the physical sensation changes. Some notice that it stays much the same. But some notice that the biggest change isn't in the body at all, but in how they are relating to it. All of those are normal. What we were exploring here wasn't how to make pain go away, but how much of discomfort comes from the story around sensation, the fear, the anticipation, the effort to stay in control. When those layers soften even briefly, the body often does something very intelligent on its own. It adjusts, it shifts, and it rests. If you didn't feel relief, that doesn't mean this didn't work. Sometimes the most important change is simply that you've stopped fighting for a few moments. That pause matters more than you might think. The nervous system learns through experience, not force. Many of us have learned that staying in control is how we stay safe. But when it comes to pain, control often keeps the system on alert. Listening, rather than managing, sends a very different signal. It tells the body it doesn't have to keep shouting to be heard. You don't need to practice this perfectly. And you don't need to do it for long periods of time. Even noticing for a few seconds the difference between raw sensation and everything added on top of it can begin to change your relationship with pain, with emotion, and even thought. Pain, especially at night, when the body is trying to rest. This kind of listening can be more helpful than effort. Nothing here requires belief. Nothing here requires willpower. It's simply an invitation to trust that the body already knows how to adjust when it's not being supervised. If you'd like, you can return to this exercise anytime, not to fix yourself, but to offer the system a little less resistance. That alone opens the door to rest. Thank you for listening.